Well, it's an honor to be part of the Holiness Partnership. I believe in the mission and purpose that Pastor Jared and the other leaders have seen and followed the Lord on. And I do believe that preaching the doctrine of holiness, living it, communicating that in every way we can is key. So it's a joy to walk arm in arms with fellow believers. A particular thing that I think is very important to me is raising the banner high of the authority of Scripture. We know in Christ's high priestly prayer in John 17, sanctify them through your truth. Your word is truth. And so really there's a connection very closely to being a biblical people and a holiness people. When we preach the word, holiness is, you can't get away from it. Virtually every page you turn in the Bible, we're hearing about coming out of darkness into His marvelous light. I do think with the current climate in our culture, in our country, there are a lot of people that are beginning to search things that maybe, they just thought things were going to just continue on, and they're seeing things that they can't believe. For me, there are things happen, talked about, that I would have never imagined even just a few years ago would be in the public debate. And I think a lot of young people particularly are seeing that. And so it's really exciting, an exciting time. I think, the horrific martyrdom, I would say, of Charlie Kirk is God is using as a catalyst, similar to John the Baptist. He prepared the way of the Lord. And particularly, I think God used that preparation even after his martyrdom, because that set the whole culture, they were very impacted by John the Baptist's ministry, set the whole culture. What the elders of the society would have called the lower culture, the common people, ready. They were ready to receive the Lord. And it wasn't just, I don't believe, what John the Baptist was preaching, which was holiness and truth, but it was also how he lived and how he died. And so I think a lot of that is true with Charlie Kirk. And then, of course, we could say, I wasn't really even, I knew of him, supported him in that sense, but I didn't really follow him much. And after his assassination, I've watched a lot of the stuff that he was doing, and it just gives you goosebumps of the boldness of preaching, better preacher than maybe a lot of pulpits that we would find today. So that's exciting. I think, there's similarities to John the Baptist there, similarities to Stephen's martyrdom, and how God is using that. But I actually think the revival had been going. That might be a catalyst point in a sense, but so it's exciting. It's troubling as well. One preacher I was listening to mentioned how the children of Israel that had fled, come out of Egypt, and they wandered 40 years until that whole generation had died, with the exception of Joshua and Caleb. And so all of them, the new ones, they had never seen the giants. They'd heard of them, but they hadn't seen them. And when they were going into the promised land, suddenly they saw the giants. And that would look like it's getting worse, but it was actually getting much better. And I think in a way that's what we're seeing in society. There's things that it's almost like the unrestrained fury of hell, but we know we're going to prevail by the power of God. So it's exciting days, yeah. And I really am very appreciative of of the people that have come together in the Holiness Partnership, the leadership there. I think that is exciting to support, be a part of as I can, that kind of thing. So yeah, really exciting. Hopeful days, even though it seems like sometimes we're not sure, but I think sometimes we feel like Elijah, Lord, take me home. There's no one. Nope, he's got 7,000 that are holding firm. So, yeah.